Chat, here we go. We got ourselves another match today. It's going to be CRR versus Ness or Nass. I think you can be okay saying it either way. I did ask Ness how to say his name. He did tell me that Ness was the closest, but so many different people are calling him Nass, and the reason why I say it's probably just going to be something he has to accept is because that is how his name looks, and because SunlessKhan called him Nass. In his most recent video, Nass was in a SunlessKhan video, called him Nass. I mean, that guy has a big reach. So he just reached a lot of people calling him Nass, so I think that's going to be something he'll have to accept. I might continue to call him Ness because that is what I've gotten used to now. But just so you guys all know the deal. Ness has been playing great 1v1. We were talking about this before the match started. He has been playing great 1v1 against all of the up-and-comers. I know he played Ahmad, the Iraqi Ahmad. He played Dark. He played at least a few others that he was basically not losing a single game. I think he lost to, or he beat his teammate, both his teammates, Scrub and Rye, who are also high-rated ones players, and basically didn't drop a game against them. He dropped a single game to Rye. But he's been trying to prove that he could do it against the best of the best, and CRR is definitely one of them. And I'll tell you what, in the first 30 seconds, he has not proved that. CRR has proven to completely toast him. That's actually a great fake from CRR, pulling off the ball and prepping for a 50 if it comes, but you can tell because the ball slow-mode on that early touch, he actually never did touch it again. It just fell all the way into the net. Nass gonna get his first goal though. After the double jump into the air dribble, CRR tried to challenge early and actually almost got this double off the back wall, but left open the opportunity for a first goal. No prediction. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll if Ahmad shows up, we can make some predictions, or I will add some here in between these games. Maybe we'll add one if it goes 1-1. CRR going to use a reset to get over the top of the challenging Ness, trying to come in from ceiling height. Going to be hard to do, and pretty much always results in getting some separation off the ceiling, so CRR knows to just pop the ball and put it right back at that level in order to make it impossible to challenge. Look at this pre-jump. I love the pre-jump. CRR is absolutely eating Ness alive at the start of this series. CRR just knew that he was going to make that play yesterday and was ready for it before Ness had even thought about it. Wave dash kickoff for Ness. CRR actually pushing himself past the ball. Oh, and missed flick from Ness. Certainly not what he wanted. And now he's let CRR take the ball with all the field in front of him. CRR getting a little caught up and trying to set something up early. Ends up resulting in pretty weak attempts. He's going to go for the pogo. I feel like everybody's going for pogos now. I've watched too much Dark. I don't think CRR actually was going for the pogo. I think he was just trying to get under the ball to catch it. But it looks like a pogo position, and I want it to be so bad. Ness, this is a good punish. CRR creeping out with very little boost, and Ness just great placement to make it impossible for CRR to get the save. The A sounds like ah, like Nass. Is Nass closer than everything else? Like the boost that helps engines, right? Nass. As if it's an O, I feel like. You think so? Well, according to him, he's told me to say it Ness, so. A part of SK Gaming now, alongside Ryan Scrubkilla. Don't think they've been able to qualify for a regional, though, which unfortunately means they don't even have a chance to here in this third one, as they're doing them invitation only. So it'll be a bit before SK Gaming gets another opportunity. But Ness can show he's got what it takes right here, right now against CRR, and he's going to do it with 2 goals in a row for the first time in this series. CRR has been able to hit so many to slow him down, but actually not a great defensive setup from CRR. You could see as he slow-mos, he's pointing towards the back wall and protecting not much of anything. And it's much easier for us to analyze and give him flack for when we get to watch it in perfect slow-mo. Nass getting a bit greedy. He's going to reach into that Mac corner for boost while CRR rolls one in. Yeah, this guy is the NSS Bali who played in SunlessKhan's tournament, which I imagine is probably the reason why you are asking that. I also noticed some comments showed up on some videos that Nass had played in, which I have to assume was courtesy of SunlessKhan's video. Some people searching him up. Air dribble bump. CRR able to avoid it. Actually gets bumped on the landing, though. Wait, CRR was there. I thought CRR had been completely removed from the play, but he actually did stand a chance. Gets bumped up onto the side wall and just could not read the position of the flick in time. The Sunless PC buff. I think that Sunless video was played a while ago, if I had to guess. I want to say Red Ape was saying that they had played it, you know, in weeks prior, months ago. So I think that that video is maybe a bit stale in terms of the games that were played. But I don't know. I think, meaning to say, I think Nass has had his PC for a while. Nass wall to air dribble. He showed some mechanics in that video of SunlessKhan's, and he actually ends up wave dashing the ball directly into CRR. If he had killed the bounce and had it roll, I think he would have gone underneath him. But the problem was he threatened around the center of the net, and he brought the ball back down and wave dash popped the ball back to the center of the net, which is where he had basically previously been threatening. So CRR's save worked out with both options. Nass needs to be more careful to change his threatening shot as he moves the ball to the ground instead of just putting it right back in the same place. CRR up 8-4. He was able to get a huge lead at the start of this game and hasn't let up at all. Him and Complexity, I believe, are in the running for a major spot. I think they have to do pretty well in this final regional. Is that true? Or they might be... I don't know if they've gotten the top 8, actually. I think they've gotten at least one top 8, right, Chow? Or did they get a top 4? I can't think right now. There's so many teams in North America who are good. I know they'll definitely be in the invitation. Look at this double from Nass. He's got 40 seconds to make up 3. I don't know if he'll be able to. But certainly not giving up on this game number 1. You knew the Red 8 from him being funny in Twitch chat. Yeah. That's kind of how I knew Wid. Wid, the kid who is now Twitter famous. He was in every Twitch chat that I was in. Nass from the ceiling. Doesn't really have the luxury of playing this slow. Does need to get it there somewhat quick. He actually got a decent bounce off the ground and pulled a good amount of boost out of CRR, but I can't imagine a world in which he takes this away and then scores 3 goals. Although the first one is happening right here. "11 seconds. Will we see any kickoff mix-up?" We just got done watching a 1v1 where Dark was so creative with his kickoff positions. There is nobody in the game who's doing it as much as him right now. Nass resets. Just one for the road. He will get it. It'll be a 1-goal game, which doesn't really do justice, I think, to how dominant CRR was for the majority of it. Never really worried about the Nass comeback. Even though if you just looked at the scoreline, you might think that it was a nail-biter. On what server is this game? CRR is in EU right now, so this is on EU servers, but they both have decent ping. Game number 2. CRR and Nass. Can Nass make it interesting at the start of the game as opposed to just the end of it? That'll be the question to answer here in this game number 2. CRR going to make an easy save to start the game and take to his aerial mechanics that he is so solid at. Nass pre-jumped, and CRR felt like he spent the whole time flying just trying to get a reset. I think he did get one at the end. At least he got the closest to getting one. Nass going to get that save. He is looking at the top left because he knows it's open from that position. Nothing CRR can do as long as he executes. And CRR has been swinging so incredibly wide. I mean, that has to be a mistake from CRR because as Nass and all the viewers, as well as myself, got to see from his perspective, it was free. It was free, assuming that Nass executed, which I don't think you ever want that to be the case as a defender. You want to make it seem tough and make it seem like you'll have to fake one way, go the other to score. Unless CRR really doesn't think that Nass has that execution, which of course he was proven wrong right away. CRR, great read. This reminds me of the apparently jack dominations. This is the kind of stuff he would do to people. Even on low boost, he just slow carry the ball and then just dissect you. As soon as you try and challenge, flick over the top, ball in your net. And it just feels inevitable. CRR deciding not to try and get that quick goal. Nass forced to jump off the wall here to try and collect it. Actually gets a great catch. CRR is very deep. Going to use his flip to get farther away. Nass ends up wave dashing, putting it right into CRR. Can he keep this possession going? I don't know how much boost CRR has. Now we do, of course. But Nass, too much separation, let CRR take it to the opposite corner, and now full field dribble. Got the reset from the ceiling. Can he double it in? He can't. And he might have just passed it into his own net. Nass will capitalize on CRR going for the gold and not being able to hit it. It was a good outplay to keep Nass from touching the ball, but it was high risk, and I'm sure CRR knew it. Disregarding the kickoff from Nass, CRR tries to just chip it and push it into that bottom corner. Nass able to make the save. He's putting pressure on CRR inside his 18-yard box, and now dribble off the side wall. Not a great first flip, but he can find a way to score it. Look at him go, Nass. He instantly makes me wrong as he finds a way to score this touch. He flew past the ball, gets right into it, and sends it over the top of CRR. CRR maybe had the same read I did, which was that he was going to be able to challenge that ball easy. No way Nass turns that into a solid shot, but Nass absolutely did. Nass now with space, bounce dribble. Protected by CRR. Cuts it off to the midfield. I'm surprised he didn't go for that early shot. CRR was recovering with a ton of speed because he knew he was in a bad position. But I guess just as poor of a position is using up all your boost to get a net and then trying to make a save from inside of it with 0. And Nass just puts it right over the top of him, 4-1. We saw this momentum at the end of last game, and it was hard to know whether or not it was just CRR maybe easing up on the gas because he had dominated so much, or if Nass was really just starting to figure him out. At this rate, it seems like Nass has been figuring him out. CRR thought he was protecting this ball with these wave dashes. I mean, he must have felt like those were enough to keep Nass from wanting to pressure the ball, but of course, that was certainly not the case, especially since his back was facing towards the ball. Not very threatening when you're in that position. Nass not going to be able to score here. Not even going to be able to steal the corner boost, so a bit of a wasted possession. CRR, smooth catch, fake. Probably would have been better off trying to flick that to the far post, but he was hoping to get Nass to fly there. Nass now, smooth setup, keeps CRR grounded and then flicks to the top left. CRR getting a taste of his own medicine here in this game number 2. He took a huge lead early. Now Nass will be the one up 6-1 with 2 minutes left to go. How did he drive up on the car instead of bumping? I missed which moment you guys were talking about. CRR definitely wants to cut this to net early while Nass is low on boost. He has 100, but I think he just picked that up. Yeah, he was playing off pads. So if CRR goes for some kind of wall-to-air dribble, any sort of slow attack, it would give Nass an opportunity to really reset in net. Instead, CRR wants to make Nass play on 0. So he cuts it directly towards him and is able to catch him, making a desperate dive at the ball. CRR, hook shot. You love it. So threatening and so simple. Everybody here in this stream could probably set this shot up in their ranked games. All you got to do is roll that ball to the one post, and as soon as they come to challenge, chip it behind them. And as simple as the execution of it is very effective for a reason. Nass is going to win the kickoff. Wall to air dribble, catch, and pop behind CRR's pre-jump, who actually still gets a save. Credit to CRR, who's trying to pinch it right back the other way. I actually think Nass was still back in time, even if he had succeeded in that. And this was, I think, a big mistake from Nass. Yeah, I mean, immediately getting punished. The time for long shots was over. The game had slowed down. Everybody had been set up, and Nass just launches one of the weakest power shots we've seen, which is a handover of possession, and he desperately tries to get back to the ball to make something of it, and CRR just gets an easy goal. Fake kickoff from Nass. Gonna have to make a high save here. The CRR looks to pin him against his back wall and eventually find a way in. He actually bumped Nass into the save. Nass got it. Just a couple pixels away from going in. Tough break for CRR, who made a great play and unfortunately assisted in its demise. Now CRR sending to the top post. Nass able to get the save. Every save so crucial at the end of the game. CRR feels side flip. Not sure what he was hoping to do here, but certainly it was not side flip away from the play. Oh, that extra pop. Look at that. It seemed like Nass just got so much additional power on it that there was almost nothing that CRR could do. It might have been a bit of the slow-mo helping it look as deceiving, but Nass wins another kickoff into a wall to air dribble. Gets the reset, and this time takes it off the bounce and in. 8-4. Nass looking solid. If you were worried about him at the beginning of game number 1, you're not worried about him anymore with how threatening he has been with a variety of attacks. CRR able to clip that midfield boost, which does mean there's an opportunity for a quick shot. Look at this double. As easy as it may seem to win this race, CRR shows that to get it there quick, you're going to have to find a nasty angle, but these guys are so clean with those. Nass bounce dribble, faked to that near post. Probably pulled the trigger a bit too soon on his eventual shot, but with 20 seconds left to go, might feel good about playing it ultra safe. He's going to pop this one high, faking going up to it. Which is an interesting decision, because even if he goes up and beats CRR, any sort of time delay is in his favor. This time he's going to try and get a double with the reset, but instead it just goes crossbar and in. CRR will be taking the game loss here in game 2, which does mean we can get your guys' prediction up for you in chat. Who takes the rest of the series? You guys will get to decide. GG's both ways. 1-1 as we head to game number 3. Game number 3, CRR and Nass. 2 dominating performances from both of them. The first one coming from CRR, but the more recent one coming from Nass. Will he be able to keep that momentum? This is a great start to this game. Oh my goodness, Nass wins the kickoff into the wall to air dribble. Able to get the reset, and he does this so quick. Everything about this was clean and made it impossible for CRR to stop him. What a great play to start this game from Nass. We're going to end submissions on this prediction now. All the Nass fans who had faith in him to start this game got what they wanted here at the beginning. Big whiff, though, as he tries to catch this ball. It's actually not the first time we've seen him whiff on a catch like that and end up going flying past it. CRR looking to take a wall to air dribble. Will he be able to do it without dying? Looks like no. Now Nass, full field, all the way from the back corner. Gets the reset, and CRR had the read that he was not going to use it. Preps for the low 50 right away. CRR missed the open net. Oh no, we might get scored on the other way as well. In fact, I would imagine Nass will score on him. Oof, brutal. Great defensive play from CRR to recognize the fact that Nass was going to be just about forced to go to the ground. But then missed execution on the counter means Nass gets his goal anyways. CRR. Lob to the back wall. Nass never has to entertain the idea of a shot, and so he can very comfortably catch and cut the ball towards the net before the CRR recovery. CRR long shots to buy himself a bit of space. He's actually electing to use it to chase the ball down. He's just going to pull off now, get the midfield, and Nass, great setup on the wall to air dribble when CRR is challenging high. This is what I was talking about in the previous match that Dark could do to prevent Joyous from being able to ceiling challenge him, which is set up one of those low dribbles. Low dribble around the midfield where you cannot come down from the ceiling and effectively challenge. And we just saw the results of what happens when you try to. Oh my goodness, CRR. He just absolutely destroyed Nass, who disregarded the kickoff and could not force it through the brick wall that is that complexity decal on the Fennec. CRR found an open window to cut the ball to the net. Nass thought he had time. Thought the trade was possession for boost, but turns out the trade was a goal for the midfield 100. Quick wave dash from Nass. Gonna get him a possession. Can't take this one up the sidewall. Threatening a take to the other sidewall will force CRR out to the midfield. CRR did a good job to close the kind of distance. Not really make it possible for Nass to chip over the top of him. Normally that is a scary dribble to challenge. Nass can take another dribble from the full field. He's going to have to take this one back to the ground, though. Jumps again. Another reset. Another back to the ground. How many times will he bounce before it eventually goes in? CRR never feels like he can challenge, and for good reason. If he turns on that play, Nass will use the reset that he has gained through every single bounce. And so where does he end up? Well, he ends up in a pretty standard 1v1 shot position. Just put the ball top right past the defender. But to be able to get to those spots in this day and age of 1v1, you need to do crazy things like set up 3 different dribbles and gain resets on all of them in order to make it feel like the defender has no chance to challenge. Nass trying to challenge here, and yet another brick wall play from CRR. He has done a great job winning these challenges, whether they're in the air or on the ground. In fact, not even sure Nass got a touch there. CRR able to steal this midfield boost. He's just going to escape, give himself space. We're trying to pressure Nass after winning the midfield. Nice catch and cut, but Nass stayed low enough to prevent that from going underneath him. Nass now flick top left. Great save from CRR. So many different times in this match, it's just been Nass looking to place well with his flick and get past CRR, and it's been the case almost every time except for this last one. CRR just barely chips it away. Ends up in a Nass goal either way. 6-3 with 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes left to go. It'll be Nass leading and in the driver's seat. This game not nearly as dominant as either of the ones that these two played before. And CRR keeps making these mistakes on the goal line. Nass, that's the most brutal own goal I've ever seen. What just happened here? What just happened here? Nass is trying to get control of the ball. CRR throws it near the net. Nass gets 100 and then just own goals. That is pretty bad. That is pretty bad. We've seen some bad own goals. I'm not sure it tops Rawass's own goal in Next Gen, but man, was that pretty unforced. Oh, CRR super dive. Nass chips it past him. CRR feeling the deficit, I think, right now. I don't think we see him diving like this if it isn't for a late deficit. Well, it's going to be a really hard pre-flip challenge anyways. Nass another kickoff win. A fake. But brought himself too close to the defender to be able to outplay with any sort of movement. CRR, good long shot. Nass actually does well to get the save. 6 boost. And he knows he can bait CRR into the corner with him. Now CRR trying to gain control. Actually baited Nass into a challenge on net that might end up resulting in him retreating late. But CRR, not the best of setups, could not force it through. 40 seconds left to go. The pressure is on CRR to find some offense. Nice fake. Nass had set that up off the back wall. CRR was so much better off if he could let it bounce freely, but he needed to do something to make Nass not feel like he could take it away. Problem is CRR's finishes haven't been there in the final minutes. Once again, nothing to find. Nass doing a good job playing some pressure defense all around the field. Oh, I think that was a pogo attempt. Was it not? Are we going to start seeing more pogo attempts when the games have been decided? CRR doing some pre-flip flicks. But it will be Nass up 2-1 on match points as we head to game number 4. Game 4 between CRR and Nass. Here, the gameplay is distracting us from the conversation in chat. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hopefully, the gameplay can be so distracting that the conversation starts becoming about the gameplay. CRR is in you. Yes, he is. CRR, he said some visa stuff or something he's got to figure out. It sounds like he'll be back, but he is currently in EU. Nass looking to try and strike first again here in game number 4. And it doesn't seem like it's going to happen that way. CRR, long shots, and a 1-0 lead. Wave dash kickoff for Nass. He is stuck with that. We haven't seen CRR dabble in it just yet. He is able to recover. And he's going to stay on this ball instead of picking up that corner 100. He knew he had the midfield 100 to get to, and the speedy play is enough to get past Nass, who actually had more than enough boost to recover and make the save. But he was wanting to pressure CRR on the side wall. You see him moving closer and closer to him. Actually just played into CRR's hand. Because CRR is playing that so fast, it never really gives Nass an opportunity to challenge. Nass, bounce dribble, able to get the resets, but cannot bump CRR in net, which would have been his only chance at getting that goal. Oh, big fakes. CRR, a third, 3-0. I'm realizing now, I think I forgot to tweet for the start of these games, which is too bad. The Twitter folks hopefully found a way to the stream either way. CRR going to be able to read this fake kickoff this time, or this half-flip kickoff, but doesn't take it back into his own half. He just tries to find something at the midfield, so it is going to result in a Nass possession either way, who seems to think he can get it over the top of CRR. CRR, great recovery. And now he's putting Nass right back in the position he was in a moment ago, having to save the ball high off the backboard. CRR prioritizing keeping this ball moving over all else. Nass able to get the reset as he connects with the ball and gets his first goal. It's going to be a stylish one as he uses the ball to help slow himself down and then actually pulls off of the touch, ends up faking it, thinking CRR was going to jump off the wall to go make that tough save. So he was hoping to put it behind him. CRR actually did slightly read that, but it still bounces in his favor. CRR, wall to air dribble. He sees Nass high on the ceiling. Can't do anything about it. Nass falls back down to make the right play. Nass, bit of a camera check. See if CRR's coming. A pogo is going to lead to nothing. Doesn't really pop the ball at all. Ends up just catching it. Now CRR, the reset, and the power shot off the bounce. 4-1 for the Spaniard. Nass never found a good opportunity to challenge. CRR, another kickoff win, another wall to air dribble. Another fake challenge from Nass high on the ceiling. CRR ends up trying to musty it in. Now Nass with 0 boost, likely just to hook shot this or go for some kind of 50 with CRR. Not much else he can go for from that position. You see him turning his camera down as the ball goes high to make sure he sees if CRR is coming to the midfield or if he's waiting in net, which CRR is. CRR has been able to clean up the corners of his net as of late. Start of this match, he was leaving him open, almost baiting Nass to try and flick to them. And he still is doing that, but he's just been able to cover him. Just barely. This would have been an insane shot, but the unfortunate reality of 1v1s are insane shots are very frequently own goals, or might as well be, as Nass can just walk it in. You need to get that defender up in the air, feeling threatened about your shot. If it's too clearly too high and they get to stay glued to the ground, it means they'll be tapping the ball in to your net with ease. Nass trying to go the full field right now with this dribble. He does threaten enough to get CRR all the way back onto his goal line. And he actually got CRR to make that save inside his net, which means slow recovery for him, and Nass should be able to get another one going. CRR, huge dive. The brick wall works apparently even in motion. CRR has been so good at winning those challenges when he's the one with control and, you know, driving behind the ball, but apparently he's also going to win them when he's the one diving into challenge. Nass cannot get it over the top of CRR as he backflips, wave dashes, and shoots on net for a 5-2 lead. Oh, great recovery. Got bumped up into the air. You see how much quicker he's ready to go by flipping into the ground. Nass trying to eliminate a scoring angle by popping this ball high while he gets time to go pick up corner boost, which he did, but CRR is still in control of the ball. Nass falling from the ceiling, able to intercept it. CRR set up the dribble too high. The defense on dribbles have been so good as of late by the top players, taking it to ceiling height that you almost need to just keep it away from all walls. You know, all walls, all ceilings. You have to just float it to the midfield so that that defender has to make a tough challenge from far away. Ooh, Nass. I think this is the guy who makes these fakes. You know, I was talking about this. I forgot who was the one who did these on the diagonals. The slight delay where you just chip the ball to yourself off the side wall. Maybe it was Nass. Kind of sparked a memory in my head as he did that one there. Not a bad idea. Trying to find a way to get some quick goals. He's going to once again flick to the top corners of the net. But those have been covered by CRR as of late. And that one might have been enough to win in this game with the demo and the side flip. It'll be a 6-3 and probably a game win for CRR. You want Khaled. I mean, I think we all want to see Khaled. I think if Khaled's ever interested in playing, we will certainly have him on. CRR going to score another one. It will be a Game 5 between CRR and Nass. Those of you who predicted Game 5, give yourself a nice pat on the back. I know Give Me the Crumbs, who subbed earlier, subbed saying it's going to be a Nass 3-2, so his prediction is still in the mix. CRR drops the ball, gets the game win, and gives the fans what they want. The final Game 5. Game number 5, CRR and Nass. Nass won 2 straight in what felt like could be the final momentum swing of the series, but CRR takes it right back in game number 4. And now is trying to score in style here at the start of Game 5, and he does! Look at this play from CRR as he dribbles the entire field. Just barely able to have enough boost to make this play, but right on 0, he uses the reset and slots it over the top of Nass. A stylish start for CRR in this match-deciding game. CRR should be able to gain control of this ball. Nice pre-flip into it to push it faster. I actually think he was hoping maybe for a reset on the ball, but still a very strong touch even without that. Nass, air dribble bump, and he is able to get it even with the soft touch. He gets a reverse goal. You missed my streams? Oh, thank you for hanging out, guys. I miss streaming as well. Nass able to gain control of the ball and win the challenge this time around. Certainly a category of the game that CRR had been dominating so far. Maybe still is. Just the first win for Nass in one of these types of challenges. Nass flicking for corners. That has been something he's been sticking to all game long. CRR doesn't have a ton of boost to work with here. So he's just going to wait until Nass hits the ball into him. That's the best option for him. You never want to be the one to flip first on 0 boost. CRR, he has been doing this same kind of defensive setup where he swings really wide. He swings really wide into the corner. This time you could argue he maybe did it because he was recovering quickly with low boost, so he had to rely on his flips, which might have put him slightly out of position. Great save by CRR. But if it weren't for the fact that I've seen every single play this game, been watching the whole thing, where I've seen him set up multiple different times, I might forgive him for that one, but I can't. He's just been setting up his shadows too deep into the corner. This time Nass counter too quick. 4-1 for Nass. CRR kickoff win into the wall to air dribble. Ceiling heights makes it possible for Nass to come in and challenge. At the beginning of this series, we saw CRR able to fall just enough off the ceiling to be able to use that reset over the top of the early defensive challenge. This time wasn't really able to, but he stays in control of the ball, and Nass, who is trying to play ultra patient, surprisingly, with 8 boosts. I can't believe he didn't jump at all there. Was hoping to somehow win that 50 without putting in any effort. CRR just squeezed it over the top of him. That boost steal is going to pay off, just barely, as Nass does get control, and CRR having to make an early challenge so as to not let Nass get to one of those dribble positions he's been so good at. That's cost CRR all the boost in his tank. He's going to have to play with 8. This flick, not good enough to prevent Nass from gaining control of the ball. He's going to go the whole field. Aero dribble bump, potentially. Yes, but CRR finds a way around it. Now Nass trying to play very patient. CRR is not going to let him as he bumps him as he looks to catch the dribble. CRR going to try and cut this either to the far post or low 50. Neither are going to work as Nass able to buy himself a bit more time. The boost did just respawn for him, so he's sitting with 100 in net. But CRR able to find the top right. Sees his opportunity to dribble it past. Even a defender with 100 boost is not able to get up in time. But, I mean, we mentioned it a million times before. The only reason why Nass isn't up challenging and maybe making this read earlier is because the flip reset meta of the world now, every player is so solid at getting them. It's a much slower setup, one that you can't dive on as early. Makes it possible to score those quick dribbles to the corners. CRR within 1. Gonna need a strong shot to get it past Nass, and it was almost strong enough. Nass saves it off the crossbar, uses up all of his boost just to get in control of the ball, and now CRR cannot find a shot. Neither one of these guys holding possession for very long. Game slowing down here a bit, though. Both have boost in the tank to make plays as Nass is forced to save this into his corner. CRR putting the pressure on him. Really strong touch from Nass. Cannot protect this ball as it falls from the ceiling. CRR catches it, but his catch is aimed at the back wall, where Nass is not going to have any issue handling, taking it away. CRR intercepting the wall to air dribble. Going for the 50 on the goal line. Defensive stands from both these guys have been so solid. Nass is going to try and pinch this ball to relieve it, but CRR immediately cuts back to net and scores. He had been stuck in defense for so long. Thought maybe a pinch to the other side of the field would give him some relief, but no. It just sets up an attack from behind the midfield line that CRR can complete. 4-4 with a minute left to go. The series on the line. Somebody in chat predicted overtime. Are they 5-head? We'll have to wait and see. Nass, really fast dribble. No choice but to flick early or lose it. Nass now in net. CRR, great additional movement on this ball. We watched it from Nass as he set up defending. CRR delays this touch till as late as possible, which makes Nass' reaction come at a time that is impossible to get back to the ball. Had he gone for that touch early, CRR could have shot much closer and punished him. So just great execution from CRR. Now trying to stay on top of this ball after winning it into the orange half. The long shot from Nass does get saved. Nass is going to be able to steal that corner boost. You see CRR single jumping in case a demo attempt was coming. Nass wasn't quite close enough to make that happen, but CRR able to steal the corner in midfield. Nass has a little bit of boost. He's going to low 50. He has been threatening flicks high all game long, and he's been able to do it even with a small amount of boost. So finally, he's going to cash in as CRR jumping to prep for that and realizing he has to turn back down to the ground to make the save. It's not going to work. 5-5. 17 seconds left to go. Kickoff win for CRR. Nass is going to actually take it away. Has completely reversed as he is able to grab midfield boost and possession. CRR cannot 50 this one out. Nass with a couple goal line 50s has went from down 1 to in the lead with 6 seconds left to go. A crucial kickoff moment for CRR. A straight-on kickoff. Will we see any shenanigans from him? Or will it just be a standard kickoff? Wave dash kickoff that he does not get the wave dash. He actually has to use a full-on flip just to stay near the play. Nass has a dribble. He could put this anywhere on the ground for the game win, and it'll be right there in front of the net. GG's from both. Nass will win in Game 5. About as close as you could hope for. Not quite overtime in Game 5, but still a very even match.